Welcome, viewers, to the first episode of whatever this is called. Why don't we just go around and we'll say our names, because this is obviously the first episode. This is actually, you're not jumping in the middle of anything. This is the beginning of a D&D campaign. A lot of people, when they first start watching, it's like they've already had a home campaign for, I don't know, months. So they're jumping in media res, as they would say. But this is, they have no idea who each other are as characters. So this will be an interesting experiment for all of us at the same time. Anyway, we'll go clockwise around the table, starting with me. I'm Xander. You may recognize me from the other show that we put out, which is our Up+Out podcast. These guys are also familiar from that.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Yeah.
And are we doing characters?
Are we doing sure, we can go ahead and do characters.
Okay.
You could just say...
I'm Yolan. I will be playing Yolan. He is a Fahnril, which is, in universe, is basically a human.
I'm Wade. I'm playing Upanor. He's a cash arm, which in universe would be a gnome. I'm playing an artificer.
Oh, artificer. Yeah, what are you playing?
I'm a fighter.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Wyatt. I'm playing a Leiludum by the name of Fisvinil. He is Leiludum are elves, and he's a wizard.
I'm Will. I'm playing Nibdrum, and I am a Rulion Veneer, which is, for your purposes, a dwarf.
Yes, that is...
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, Rulion Veneer, yeah.
Rulion
So,
Veneer.
the complicated thing about this campaign is that it's a homebrew setting, because why not? And there are a lot of details floating around out there about how this world works. So yes, all of the races have had their names changed just so it can be nice and complicating for all of you at home. But, Will, you were about to say something?
And I'm a cleric.
Oh, he's a cleric. Oh, you're a cleric.
I'll be healing your boo-boos.
Well,
We
none
thank
of them
you.
know that, though, because they're all strangers meeting for the first... Well, you guys have technically maybe met a little bit beforehand, but not a lot. So the world that we're in is called Umbalin. This whole thing behind me is a map. I did draw it, and it's been updated since then, but this is still what the whole continent looks like. And these guys are all, as they've said, you are a person, you're a human being, you are a gnome, which is like a little guy in this world, and you are an elf, and you are a dwarf. That is basically all there's. There's one other type of race in here called a Nibeljash, which is like an orc type guy, but they're nice orcs, so it's closer to, I don't know, Skyrim and Elder Scrolls than anything else. But we don't need to get into too many details right now. We'll just go ahead and jump into the story, I suppose. So word is spread throughout Umbalin at this point, just kind of bits and bobs and little dribbles, that something has happened down in the capital of Rejlaz Rhekolb, the capital of the Fahnril kingdom, which is, of course, where you are from. That's way down here on the map. You can't see it. It's a little too low, but it is very far south. Not that it matters to anyone out there. And it's nothing good is coming out of it. Apparently a lot of death, a lot of mayhem, but the details are sparse. So all of you have started making your way there for various reasons that we may or may not cover in a backstory video for each of you. But you all are approaching. The three of you have all arrived together via a fleet of commandeered ships by a garrison of Fahnril guards that have dispatched from a distant city but they are responding to a call from the Fahnril king to the main capital. And you exit your ships, look up and see the cliffs and stone keep of Rejlaz Rhekolb in a state of absolute ruin. The trees nearby have all been stripped of their leaves and even of their bark. They look like bones sticking out of the ground. And in the air, sights that would boggle the mind of even the most experienced person in the magical world. There's debris hanging in place, static and totally frozen. There's bricks just rotating in the middle of the air as though that they're held on some sort of string from an unseen armature. And the gates of the city themselves have been torn off of their hinges and stand partially submerged into the ground. And there is quite a hubbub outside the gates as you approach, with guards standing and blocking anybody from entering. And in fact, there's a commotion coming from a Rullion Veneer standing off at the side who's demanding to be allowed to enter the city itself. Yeah, that's you. That's you, as a matter of fact. Yeah. That you have a commission from the eldership to enter the city and conduct an investigation. So, what do y'all want to do?
I'm just curious, for overall feel, does it feel like the military is there as like police investigation, crime scene kind of feel, or?
So it's been a few weeks since this incident has occurred, which makes kind of the view of everything all the more jarring. That it kind of looks like nothing has been done. It's more of a police presence than anything else. There's not active fighting going on. Really, all you see are just a smattering of soldiers, much less than you would expect at the capital city in some sort of emergency incident.
Do we smell anything? Like, is it like sooty? Is it like,
No.
Stinky fish.
No, you don't. There's nothing. It's mostly a visual phenomenon that's going on right now. There's not any sort of odd smell. It's it's a coastal town, so you've got the salty sea breeze. It is a relatively pleasant day with a clear sky, but nothing strange in that regard as far as anything outside of the visual. No olfactory sensations that would pique your interest.
This is just a quick character question. I know we got here by boat. Did I only take rivers? Is this the first time I'd be seeing the sea?
No. So you actually would have been mostly sea.
So taking the coast along that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So you would have left from your place here.
Mm-hmm.
This is technically a lake. This is a set of waterfalls that you would have traversed around. You would have actually disembarked, gone down, and then come out here and gone down the coast, and then taken the canal, which cuts across this whole peninsula. It cuts about a week off of what otherwise would have been a much longer journey.
So my absolute amazement at the vastness already happened.
Yes, yeah, you would have. Yeah, this is a lot of ocean over here. A lot of ocean over there. So you would have already been out there. But you did hug the coast for the most part. It was always within sight.
Gotcha.
So we're saying that these three were together on the ship, but they're not necessarily like grouped together beforehand.
No.
I think we go with like you guys were like traveling on the boat together, and so you have like vague notions of each other, but you're not like a tight knit group.
Correct. Yeah, they have like I don't know what you've been doing on the boats necessarily, but you would have not talked to anybody, and you probably would have talked to. You've been traveling with these guys for a while. Like you came from the same city.
Yeah.
So you came from Tishkom Lori Vobrin, obviously.
And I'm bickering with the guards, right? Trying to get in.
You're trying to gain entrance to the city.
Because I've been commissioned by the eldership to
investigate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Investigate the happenings.
The happenings.
Well, it's not called the
I
happenings.
know it's not called the happenings.
just making sure. I throw a lot of terms in it.
Notes.
Everything I say sounds like it comes with a capital letter. So
no TM here.
Yeah, no TM, no registered trademark. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we close enough to hear that he's asking about like
I would
entering?
say yes.
So Rejlaz Rhekolb sits up on a bluff that overlooks the ocean. So you would have docked. It's just called the Straits of Tethyan, I believe it is. I may be forgetting a letter in there because I'm going off the dome. But you have crossed over that strait, and there's some docks there. Well, there used to be docks there, but they're now gone. So you would have actually beached yourself on, not beached yourself, but come into the land and had to walk up the hill, and that's where you saw those strange things on the exterior. But yes, at this point you'll be approaching enough to hear the commotion from this Rouillon Veneer.
And I've also been sent to investigate, right?
Yes, you've also been sent to investigate.
So I'd like to wade into the fray. I guess stand right alongside this unknown dwarf, or Rouillon Veneer. Right? I said that right?
Rouillon Veneer.
Rouillon Veneer.
Rouillon Veneer.
Can I bicker with the guard?
Oh, go for it. I would love it if you
okay.
bickered with the guard. I'm in the back of fray. Just waiting.
Why will you not let... I can't. Let's do this again.
It's alright, I'm leaving it in now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Why will you not let me in?
Sir, this is a closed city, obviously. There is a terrible tragedy, and I cannot abide another citizen.
I've been commissioned by the eldership of the Rouillon Veneer.
I've heard you the third time, and even before that, to let you in. I have sent word up to the castle to see if we can allow any more visitors.
Can I do anything? It's getting Indian-y.
That accent doesn't exist. I don't have it,
Can I do anything for you to let me in? Anything. Anything. Anything.
You can roll a persuasion check, I think is what you're driving at.
Oh, I was about to dive in the conversation.
Okay, you go ahead if you want to intercede.
Well, I was gonna walk up behind, kind of like wave my hand, like, if I may intercede here, how about letting in an ambassador from the Leiludum? Can we enter?
From the Leiludum?
Yes, I've been sent from up north, and perhaps my new friend here can come with me.
The Towers of Rudale.
Oh yes, I've been sent from the Towers of Rundale.
From the Towers. Well,
I'm pulling a name card here.
yes, you are pulling. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Both?
I would love to.
You guys can both roll, or one of you
Just
can
do
roll
the
with
assistant.
I have a
advantage.
+3 charisma.
Who's got the higher charisma?
Who's got the higher rig?
Wait, are we looking at charisma or persuasion?
Stop.
It's persuasion.
I
I
plus
give
4
him
to
a
persuasion.
smoldering look.
+4 to persuasion. What's your
Can
persuasion?
you be plus
Your
4?
persuasion better?
Where's the persuasion?
In terms of skills.
So I gotta go to the actual sheet, right?
Or yeah. Is that not the sheet?
Did you give me the names of my parents?
Try
Yes.
clicking on charisma.
Did I miss it?
Yes, I may cut
That's
out.
ridiculous.
skills.
It's in the part. Yes, it's actually next
Wait,
page.
it's persuasion. Oh, you're +5. So
Plus
you'll
5.
take advantage.
Mhm.
I'm giving you an assist.
So you roll the d20 and add whatever your bonus is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing it with advantage. We're cutting all this, right?
Yeah, and since you're doing that, I'm gonna answer the phone.
I can today, my Well, about that.
Nat 20 plus 5.
The first roll.
Yoo-hoo!
Hang on, we gotta pretend like that just happened for the cameras.
Yeah, cut that in.
No, we got it's fine. We're in.
We're keeping that?
That's great.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it
The
in.
very first roll's on that 20. That's crazy.
Yoo-hoo!
That goes well for the campaign.
Mr.
know what?
Guard!
He actually looks back and sees that you're being accompanied by other military figures and says, "Well, if he's gonna vouch for you and you've got accompaniment, then that's fine, I suppose. Just watch yourself. It's not a pretty sight in there."
Okie dokie.
Before we enter the carnage, I would like to know, is this like a Tolkien sort of setting where like dwarves and elves have a bit of a tiff?
No, we're
Or
best friends.
are
love
we
it.
like-
we're like
So
tight-knit
we're
cousins?
closer than any of the other races. We
Yeah.
hate all the other races.
Well, okay,
We're
so-
incredibly racist.
So the thing is that like to a general dwarf, quote unquote, which would be a Yungol.
Yes.
there. Well, you'll find
Oh,
be-
okay.
To be a general dwarf, which is like a Yungol, you would be more antagonistic towards them because you do actually have a budding territory. But for the Rouillon Veneer, there are special sort of Yungol that are much more.
You respect us more.
Yeah, you would certainly respect him, and if he's been commissioned by the eldership to be here, that holds a pretty big sway with you, because you know how that would function, and the eldership is like saying the president sent me.
Yeah,
It's kind of how it is. So he's invoking their name, and a Rouillon Veneer invoking their name is certainly a big deal because they don't invoke the eldership lightly.
We know people. They don't.
So they're getting it now.
Yeah, they're getting it.
I'm
He's integrated with the garrison, so he's
Dirty
gonna
swamp
get in.
human.
Okay.
And you're just
Whoa,
kind
I
of.
didn't know we had
Excuse me. May I follow them in? I arrived on this ship with them. but I'm looking for my Pajot and my how do I Daja?
Daja, yeah.
Daja.
Pajo and Daja.
What's happened? What has happened?
They don't tell me much, but you'll see for yourself. Well, we don't know what happened.
Oh, goodness.
Yes,
This is...
How many corpses?
to call them corpses would be putting it kindly. It's everyone. It's been literally everyone who was attending. Everyone in the city is.
The entire city's gone. That's not Irish.
The entire city.
I slipped
Yeah.
into
This is terrible.
To say it's terrible also would be an understatement. It's the king lives on, and I think that's probably the best thing that I can say right now.
Was the king not attending the party?
Oh, his son had not yet arrived, so
I see.
the prince has taken the throne.
Oh. Okay. Is there concerns for the life of the prince?
Oh no, he's fine. He's doing as well as can be expected at the moment. He did find his mother and
Understandably
father,
so.
his Pajo and Paja. Pajo, right? Pajo and Daja. He did find. I wouldn't say that anyways. He did find the king and queen, and they also were not spared. No one's spared. It's you may enter the city.
I'm not sure if I want it, but I guess I do.
So would my band, would like my
Well,
group
we just
be
get on the boat
following
and
them?
leave.
Yeah,
Take this campaign off the
Kind of like their detail.
Yeah,
You're
as
pirates
he's
now.
coming up, the guy who's leading you would say, reporting to the capital. He would just introduce himself and say, "Yes, okay, come on, go on in." So your garrison is being admitted, and you're in the supply train for them.
Got
Like
it.
they would have disembarked their loot.
Would we have been like offloading our stuff?
You would have offloaded your stuff, and they would be. So you may not be coming up quite yet, but we'll say that you are, just for the sake of simplicity here. And you are all now admitted into the remnants of Rejlaz Rhekolb.
So he's just following.
Right behind us.
Yeah, I mean,
For all intents and purposes, for you, I'm soldier number 3 right now.
he is
allowed to be here.
He sticks out because he's like a little tiny. He's like a little
I'm a
tiny
very
bro.
short dude and a bunch of really
He's
tall
obviously
soldiers.
not a Fahnril, but he is integrated with their garrison.
And I'm like farm boy
Yeah.
attire.
He's got frayed jean bell bottoms or whatever. I don't know.
Excuse me. Do you guys mind if I accompany you as you conduct this investigation? I'm looking for my parents, and they were part of the court, and I just...
It's all right.
We don't mind.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I understand this might be a bit difficult. If your parents were attending the ceremony, were they not? I assume if you're looking for them here, are they in the city?
Yeah, they would have been. They'd been for a month, or
The world equivalent of a month. Yeah, it'd be a jashuret.
I'm sorry.
No problem. I didn't actually put that into there. I said several herbals, which is a week.
That's right.
Well, we'll do it. I'm more than happy to have you come with us. But is there anything you can tell us to describe them so we can help you look?
He describes his
Toads?
parents.
Oh, what a
I did
lovely
proceed
description.
to describe them.
His mother wears a lovely lavender gown as she walks.
My father looks like me, but I have my mother's eyes.
That's incredibly telling. I think I'll know which ones they are.
Well, as you enter the city, it's pretty generic at first, but as you come deeper in, you start to see what he meant by calling them corpses would be kind. There's figures caught in action as though they were made statues of running, like statues of people running, but instead of being full figured and fleshy looking, they seem to be desiccated by eons of decay and dry heat.
Almost mummified.
Very similar to mummification, as a matter of fact. And as you kind of get into the crowded area, you see that there's like several that have collapsed down onto the ground in just kind of heaps of, I guess you could call it flesh. This is getting a little dark, obviously, so I don't know. If you have trouble, get over it.
Pompeii, the thing that did happen.
Yes, yes. So as you kind of get near them, it says, try not to bump them because they will just disintegrate.
Is there enough detail left that they can be like identified, or are they just humanoid?
I mean, they still have their facial. They haven't been totally obliterated. It'd be like looking at
Like
a corpse. It's like a
It's
corpse.
like
Yeah.
mummies,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, it's
Just
like
how they
mummies. So
sunken in.
like King
dried.
Tut's face. I think it was King Tut's.
Oh,
But you
okay.
can-
I
so-
got you.
So, but they're not quite blackened like a lot of those mummies are.
Oh,
They're grayish. They're ashen in color, and their clothes are still all sitting there, but you can tell that they're like threadbare. It's very, I mean, it's very strange. Obviously,
It's very
Would
strange.
I do?
What?
An,
Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to do an investigation check, so maybe you should say yours first. But if I'm looking through the corpses for my parents,
it would be useless. There's literally like hundreds of thousands.
oh, it's okay.
It was
Okay.
the middle of the. To explain what
But it seems like everybody is running away from some central.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
your parents
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry for your loss.
So from what has been gathered, there was some sort of incident that occurred during the celebration of the king's 50th birthday at night that a sudden happening occurred that and that one is capillation. No, that one's not capillation. Actually, I've referred to it as the sundering in several of your backstories. Occurred at its instantaneous moment across the whole city at the same time. So anybody in the city itself appears to have passed away. Appears to have been murked, to put it in a different way.
With my background, can I scour my mind palace to see if I can remember any records of similar... I mean, this is so powerful, I'm assuming it has to be magic. So any similar instances of effects such as this.
You can go ahead and roll a history check. Just better not be a natural 20.
It's 14.
Okay, it's a 14. You don't have a lot of details to go off. The state of all of these corpses and the span of it seems out of touch with any sort of experience that you've read about. It's a massive occurrence here, a massive release of some sort of energy, some sort of magic that is... I mean, it would rival in scale of magic, not necessarily in destruction, but in scale of magic of the opening of the breach. It would be... That's the only thing that seems to be of a comprehensible scale. Or going back further to... I haven't come up with a name for that instance, but the release of the Tyrol during the Great Schism. Your character would know what that means.
Yes.
Yes, your
So
character would know.
I was around when the breach happened.
That would be the best comparison. Would be actually the Great Schism, which was much earlier than the breach.
Okay. But needless to say, I'm worried. If
You
of
are.
This much power has happened.
You are concerned.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, not again.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
It's a good thing I came.
You may or may not roll a Constitution check to see how scared you are.
That's
Saving
20.
Oh wow, okay. You steeled yourself, but you're like, I feel like I'm the wrong person to be here. This
Yeah.
seems above my pay grade.
I'm thinking. This is like I'm out of my depth, but
Yeah.
it's too late now. I'm here.
I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
Would I have some reference for this too?
You could go.
History?
You could do the same thing. I mean, there's going to be
You want me to-
individual
you want me to
because you
do
guys
history?
probably would not be talking about. Yeah, history for you as well. You should have proficiency in that. Yeah.
I do.
I imagine we're just walking around in shock. And
Yeah.
As they do that, so as Upanor's walking through,
I
would say like he's in awe of the destruction
Right.
that was wrought.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's intrigued by it.
Mhm.
Is there anything around that might suggest the nature?
So the highest peaks of buildings actually have a good bit of destruction on them. So some of the things low level down in the city themselves are mostly just affected by this strange.
Almost as if like there was a blast higher up.
Yeah, as though it's not a single point of origin from your. Go ahead and roll me a. It's going to be an intelligence.
I got an 11.
Investigation.
You got an 11.
Or
You know it's
insight?
bad.
No.
You would probably put together those things I said to him as well,
But
just
not
because
as
they're major world events.
They're history books to you, though.
Yeah, but like, he's a history
I gotta
buff, so
figure
he
out how to
knows.
do my accent that's not cartoon.
Is that investigation or just straight
I think you're doing
intelligence?
pretty good.
If you have investigation as a proficiency, sure.
This
Never
is
mind.
not good.
11.
11. Okay, so you can see it doesn't seem to be single point of origin. It's like there's a bunch of different explosions that have been hitting the tops of a bunch of buildings. The wall is kind of exploded up at the top, and that's that debris that you were seeing. Is that these things have hit and flown and been scattered about, but they are caught in midair by whatever this magic is.
I've had an idea.
Is there a numerical system for Umbalin?
There's several.
You said these people are caught in action. Are they like running in terror, or just their daily lives?
No, they're like fleeing for their lives.
Are they all fleeing from the same point?
They are.
Like just generally away from the.
They're running toward. They seem to be running down the streets towards the entrance. So they're trying to escape the city, but
So this wasn't like an instantaneous like snap. Something prolonged was happening.
yeah. So it seemed to. They were gathered in the main square, is what you could piece together, because somebody rolled pretty well on investigation at some point.
I rolled a 14 in history.
Yeah. So you can see that there are sort of people. It was individuals closer towards the gate, and as you're moving further into the city, it's more compact. There's people who are caught like in being trampled. It seems to have just been a mass rush towards it. Just some people were already further away when they got their start. Yes.
What is a numerical system that we both
So
know?
most people would be
And I
using
need to
base
know-
10.
I
Most
need-
people would be using base 10.
Base 10?
Yeah, like our
Like
number
what we
system.
have. Yeah.
That's not as fun as I need it to be.
Okay, well, you specifically,
I know-
the Yungle, do use base 9.
I know all
And
numerical systems.
the Nibeljash use hexadecimal.
But there's not like special names for the numbers.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Okay,
for you there
okay,
is.
what's like 1 to 10?
1 to 10 would be, what is it? It's Bo, Li, Re. Hold on, let me just pull up the
I just want to know
language
what
here
1
real
is and what 10 is.
Bow.
quick. Hold on.
Bow.
That may not be 1.
Are you just asking
Might
on a
be
scale of
0.
1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how
Yes,
bad is it?
yes, that's
Hold on. Don't, you ruined the punchline! Hold on, let me go to your language page.
Well, now I need to know all the numbers so I can take.
Well, I've got them. I've got the construction. So it's Bo, K, Re, No, Ve, Si, Go, Be, Li is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, what's the 9?
9 is Li.
Li.
Sorry, Li.
Li.
L-I.
Li.
Yeah, so it's Bo, K, Ri, No, Ve, Si, Go, Be, Li.
I like tap on your side and then. On a scale of Bo and Li, how bad is this?
Li.
Bo, Li,
Uh,
how bad is this?
what's the number? For
Li is the 9. If you want to say like, you would say.
What's
If you want to know like what the crazy number would be, it would be like Lion.
Lion.
Lion. That'd be
I-
like huge.
You see me like trying to remember this specific numerical system. Lion, I think.
That'd be like super huge.
We're gonna die.
I don't. We might not.
We're gonna die.
No, we're not.
They sent us here to die!
No, I mean not yet. Probably not. I don't know.
So I want to try and figure out. So I know they were there for the king's birthday, and I'm assuming that there is a fairly typical city structure, right? Like there's kind of the outer homes, and then there's going to be some kind of palace of sorts.
Yeah. There'd be like a main commercial center. That's kind of away. There is an outer and inner city.
Yeah.
So the inner city is mostly just palace grounds and like officials places. That's much further in. You
Did
guys
this
haven't gotten
affect
there yet.
both the outer and inner?
I mean, you haven't been there
Okay,
yet.
so-
you. I mean, no one's told you because you're just a country bumpkin.
That was my next question, actually. How familiar would I even be with this city?
with the city, you've never been to Rejlaz Rhekolb.
Okay.
You've never been. You know, I mean, it's the capital, but you're. You know, you live out in the country.
But my parents would have been familiar with it, right?
They would have been a couple times. I mean, with
Okay.
your dad being a town steward.
Where are your parents?
Is that what I called him? The town steward? Yeah, then he would have... Is that right?
Yeah, you said Stuart.
The steward? Yeah. Town steward. Then he would have been invited here. He's old enough that he probably... I don't think his...
As a steward, is he kind of like the mayor or the...
basically, he's the town mayor. So
He's the appointed...
Your grandfather would have been invited for King Beryl, which is the king's name. Berhil. Beryl. It's technically Berhil, but I don't want to do these glottal maneuvers every single Berhil.
I like the idea that you're just walking around going, wow.
No, you're going.
So we get back on the boat.
And your question was
Yeah.
how familiar with the state? You're not.
Not
Your grandfather would
familiar.
have
Okay,
come for like the
So I'm not like trying to
coronation.
run to where I would expect him to be.
As being the son of a steward, you would know the history of the city, so you know that there is like a royal part of the city, an inner wall that you would have to get past. But there's. Is your
What are
food
you
thing
doing?
left? I was trying to get some candy.
Trying to be quiet, and it did not work.
And it's going like. No!
Don't show the label.
Go ahead.
This is
open it.
terrible Foley work.
It's not Foley work, because Foley work is supposed to be creative and to simulate the sound of the actual thing with things that are not it.
Right.
That's just a recording. Anyways, yeah, you don't know much about the city. You're heading in. You would be heading towards that, but everyone
Right.
else is heading that way as well.
Right.
So,
Okay.
as you would have been, they would have commanded the commander to make his way to the palace because everybody's setting up in the palace.
And as we go through, do I notice any Napoleon machinations?
You roll me an investigation check for that. Because we're saying that you guys are just walking through the city.
Are you looking to scavenge parts?
Don't ask him. Let him be him. What? Nat 1? Nat 1.
Investigation?
Yeah.
5.
5?
I
Okay.
rolled a 2.
You don't see anything that stands out, but everything is kind of messed up, right? So it's hard for you to recognize much of anything that would have been at the time, but you know that there would be some things here, but you just haven't seen them as of yet. With a 5, like, you know that it would be here, that some Napoleon manufacturing would be here, but you haven't seen anything that catches your eye at this point. So as you guys are making your way through the city, you would see that there are soldiers mostly not doing anything really important. They just seem to be cleaning up. They're making lanes through the squares and through the streets, trying to manipulate these corpses as best they can. Most of the time, though, when they just kind of get up to touch them, they just kind of crumple down. So there's a lot of shovels, a lot of wheelbarrows.
Dustpans.
Yeah, dustpans. People just like,
Were they invented for this exact, like, they were invented days
brooms
ago? for this?
exist.
Dustpans, though, specifically dustpans.
They're actually just doing it into shields because they don't know what a dustpan is. Are you happy? Are you happy? They don't know what a dustpan is.
Just
I have a
scoops.
Yeah, and
When they disintegrate, I like bones too, or like would there be any bones in the pile?
So it's when they get touched, it's like they had been suspended.
It's a very specific
and then they kind
I'm
of
just trying to think of like
because it
how
would happen. Like
deep
as
did
you're
it
going
go?
through, it looks like the bones they don't fully disintegrate into just total dust,
Right.
but they lose all sort of rigidity. The structures themselves and fall into the bones break as they kind of fall. So
Right.
they're piecemeal, but not total post cremation, I
Right.
suppose.
They're chunks, not powder.
There is a powder. So
Chunky powder.
as you came in, they would have the guard would have said, "I'd pull up your scarf," and they would. You see everybody working in there. They've got scarves covering their nose and mouth. They're themselves covered in dust.
I pulled a very nice handkerchief.
Yeah, and it doesn't smell bad in the city though. The strange thing is that it's almost as though they're beyond stinking at this point.
We just don't even want to breathe in the
Yeah,
people.
it's
Not
just
even
it's,
organic,
it's
like,
just
bacteria.
Dust. Yeah.
Ugh.
Does this look like the same school of magic as Blight? Blight's the one that dehydrates them, right?
I think that's a corruption, sort of like pestilence type of thing. It doesn't look like that, no.
Okay. So this is more of a product of whatever happened, not the intent of what happened.
You have not rolled high enough on investigation to piece that much together.
I'm too terrified to know.
Not that you're too far. It's so outside the realms of what you typically see for magic that
Gotcha.
it's baffling you at the moment. So as you guys make your way through the city, you do come to the inner wall and the gate, and there the sights kind of, if you can imagine, they get worse because there is just a mound of bodies that has been sort of split down the middle so people can get through to get into the city. So, and then you move through that into the city grounds, the royal grounds themselves, and it's still bad, but there aren't as many bodies here. And you're making your way into the castle itself. So you can see the College of Rejlaz Rhekolb over the university over there, the Temple of Zerhos over here, and then the palace directly in front of you.
We go to the king's chamber.
Well, you.
I have an idea. I kind of want to gather everyone together.
Yeah.
No,
Am I included in this gathering?
I gather together anyone that's... Well, you assume we've been traveling together, so I'm kind of like just getting people to help.
Soldier. Boy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like,
Yes, sir.
well, I can tell that... I
We're
can
your
tell that
parents now.
I can tell that we're all like... kind of like looking around and investigating what's going on, and this is an idea to just help investigate. Maybe, who knows? I have an idea. I don't know if you've noticed. Well, I don't know if I do know this because he was from his investigation. What I have noticed that the damage is higher up.
With your 14, you would have seen the same thing. Yeah.
It looks like a lot of the damage is higher up in the buildings. Maybe there might be survivors under the ground and vaults, or if there's anything like that in the city. Does any of you have?
Would I know if
any
there's like
information?
catacombs or anything in the city? Is it old enough
Uh,
to?
you guys can roll.
Are the soldiers not
History.
from here initially?
Yeah, you can roll history.
Everyone here
back.
died.
So the soldiers that are here were
soldiers-
sent here
They have arrived here.
with
Yeah.
the prince or whatever.
Oh, you don't know that.
Okay.
I got a
What?
13.
I know he's not from here. I don't know about those two, so I'm kind of asking them, being like, "Do either of you know this city?"
I've never been here, but my parents have been a couple of times.
Would Upanor have ever been?
No, you would not. Have
No.
been here. No.
I
This
didn't know if
is-
there would be like
Yeah,
shipments or...
this is like you lived here, and it's way down here.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no reason for you to have gone down that far. You've got your business going on up there, and Lord of Oberyn, and you wouldn't have had reason to come down this far.
Can I roll history to see if I know from any books whether?
Well, he would know. With a 13, you've given a base enough history that there are catacombs. There are some subterranean passageways, just because it's an old enough city that they've had some of that put in place, and yeah, so you know that there's some.
There are actually some tunnels and catacombs beneath the city, but I wouldn't know well enough to know how to access them.
You would know that they're restricted at this point. Well, the guard would say, that's just restricted territory in a way. Can't get down there without permission.
But if we wanted to, where would we go?
I mean, we're in the royal quarter now, so I mean, there's access points more in the palace, but you all won't be allowed down there.
Have the guards already looked down there?
We all just arrived. I have no idea if anybody's looked down there.
Well, I didn't know if you
Maybe
spoke
you
to one of
should
your
do your
superiors.
job.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, what was that? This thing was talking.
Nothing. I'm terribly sorry. That's all. Thank you for letting us in.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm a different guard, by the way. Obviously, it's a
Are
different
you
accent.
for the city, or are you part of the
No,
militia group? or
I'm
whatever?
the one who's been traveling with you. I'm
Okay.
part of the
I'm
garrison that
even
came
different
down.
guard.
He's my boss.
He's got a slight lisp in his voice. Can't you hear this? It's totally a different guy.
Yeah, well, he's with the group that is restricting, so I'm saying thank you to the group.
All right.
How'd you come to join the garrison?
I walked
How did I
in.
come to join the garrison? I was one of the few Fahnril that lived in Tishcombe Lower of Oberyn, and so I was drafted into the garrison. There's not a lot of us that still live up there.
Do you like it?
It doesn't matter whether I like it or not. I'm a soldier.
The idea has never occurred to us.
He goes into his dialogue loop for you. I'm just a soldier. I live in Tishkon.
I'm just a soldier.
I'm just a soldier. I don't know.
I think if you repeat it enough times, it changes.
So,
That was him telling me to stop playing like Skyrim.
No, it's fine. You ask him, he says, my father was a soldier in Tishkon Lower Vobrin. I sort of inherited the role from him. I'm good enough to be made captain, and that puts me in a pretty good position in the world, if you really must know, alright? Have a good day. I plan not to speak to you again.
sir, moving on picks.
Yeah,
I believe what they're trying to say is,
I love it. It's great.
if we could go into the catacombs to find if anybody survived, because all the blasts seem to be up high.
Oh.
So maybe people down low may have survived.
That's a good idea, Upanor. I mean,
So that's why I think they were asking that.
okay, I get that you're asking, but I'm not the right guy to ask.
Who would we
Whether or
talk
not-
to about getting down there?
I don't know. We gotta go. We're heading up to the castle. I'm reporting for duty
Okay.
there, so we'll talk to them
Sounds
there.
good.
Do you want to go with these guys or something? You act like they're your best buds. Did you?
No, they'd say, yeah, they want to figure out what's going on, and so do I.
We're all working together here.
You are?
Well, we're all trying to see what happens, aren't we?
Well, I'm reporting for duty mostly. I certainly have no idea what's going on. We
I'll
work
take
through
my-
the same city, right?
But I just want to see what
I'm
happens.
just
and see if I
trying
can
not
help.
to cry in front of the men. Let it out.
We all stand.
I'm sorry,
stunned.
please.
It's all right, sir. Just pat him on the back.
Oh, it's,
The
thanks, Oop.
I walk away.
Guys, settle in. We're told to go report next off the porch of the university, so set up camp there. And unpack. Unpack. And he walks off to help the guys start to get to work.
I'm gonna stay with them.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna stay with these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're a long. Yeah, it's like you're not much help carrying heavy loads anyway.
No.
So, all right, you guys can. All right, so I put them into work. We can head on up to the castle. I decided not to walk away.
He came back.
I forgot that we were heading up to the castle. It's all right. Okay.
It's okay.
We're going to walk up there. We're going to figure out what's going on. Well, we're not going to figure out what's going on, but we'll at least get some orders. So you guys make your way to the castle.
These buildings are ultimately intact. Just
These buildings, well, as I've said, the tops of them have been. These are all stone buildings. Up there,
Right.
white stone buildings. It's this style of this city. It's
granite.
it's
Ministerial?
yeah, Minas Tirith. It's fine. I don't like to be as directly correlative as that, but in a pinch it'll do. So more marbly sort of style, not quite granite.
Got it.
Real nice stuff. It's real nice stuff. It's a shame it's all blown up.
Was real nice stuff.
It still is. I mean, this chunk of marble is still pretty nice. You know, it's just like not a nice big old piece of marble.
You gotta reshape it into something.
Yeah.
New direction of the campaign. We're just gonna start a business.
You're gonna be a repo
Rap-
business. Just
Scavenging marble,
oh my
selling it
goodness.
downriver.
It's Umbalin flippers. Is that what we're doing here? You guys are gonna start flipping.
We'd be upriver.
Houses.
Up the
Yeah, we
canal.
have to get it upriver. Go against the current.
Okay.
We
Yeah. So,
invent
you
the
guys,
steam engine.
so there's as you guys walk in, there's. You can see that the throne room is back there, and the doors are closed to the throne room. So you're not getting in there at the moment. But there are no guards posted at the doors, so it seems probably the king's not in there at the moment. But there is like a really tall, beefy Nebel guy who seems to be in charge, giving orders, and trying to think of how I want him to sound exactly, because I still haven't quite landed on what their accent should be. That's right, that's what I'm going with.
For the sake of the viewers and definitely not me, what are Nebel again?
Nebel Jash is what they are. They are the orc type bros. He is about, I think he's like 7.5 feet tall, so he is like a
big.
massive
Too
mountain.
big.
He's a big Nebel. Well, you
he's a
wouldn't
big
really
boy.
know that. He is a big boy. He's definitely giving orders. He's very dark in color. It's sort of like a not.
For reference,
very-
my character is 6'9", so I'm a very large man.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, so you're 6'9", you're like what? How tall are you? Like 4 foot-ish?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
These are normal sizes for
These
these guys. So like gnomes are very short.
Subhuman.
Very, very short. Like he'd be standing like this tall.
3'4".
3'4". Yeah, I think that's about right for 3'4". You're 6'9", so you're like this from
I'm
the
big.
floor.
I'm big. Oh, yeah.
You're how tall are you? Like
5'11".
5'11"? Okay, so you're decently tall for
If I stand up straight,
yeah, if you stand straight. He kind of all right, yeah. So you guys are all, like I said before we started recording, you're all like stepping stones. It kind of boop, 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 boop. It's like a foot between each of you
Raising
just
the
about.
bars.
So you see the big, tall Nebel Jash guy kind of giving orders.
He's like, I need you to go take care of the docks. They've been destroyed, and I need them to be back operational as soon as possible. So I need you all to be off.
And then he turns to you all and the captain of the garrison captain who's been coming with you. He says,
These are new faces. Who are you?
and the guard says, yeah, sorry, sir, we're the garrison from Tishkam, Lower Volbrin. We are reporting into the capital per request, sir.
Okay. I'm glad that you are all here, but do you have any instructions that you'd arrive with?
No, sir.
Okay, well, cleaning up crew. You join the others. It's a lot of work that we still have to do. So, the rest of you don't look like you're part of the garrison.
I go to shake his hand.
He reaches out and like engulfs your hand in his big old meaty paws.
I'm a little threatened for a moment.
You do see like a weird armature on the back of his hand.
I go, sorry, there's something stuck in my throat. I'm Fistvenir, of the house Ururfun. I've been sent by from the towers of Rundan to investigate what's going on here.
From the towers, eh?
Yes, I'm from the towers.
Okay, I had not heard that they were sending a representative.
I travelled as fast as I could. I must have beat the messages.
Alright, did you have any sort of particular request from the towers?
No, we have no request. I'm just here to kind of investigate and see what's going on, but I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Well, it's still largely a mystery what's going on here. So, any sort of academic help would certainly be welcome.
I'll be honest, I walk into the city, I was trying to think of anything that could have happened, could have been like this, and I'm at a loss.
Yeah, going through the college in Utternborg, I never... The only thing was, maybe back the schism, but it's a different sort of thing altogether. That was from underneath this. It came...
Hey, mate, it's gonna be alright, okay?
No, it's alright. It came... yes, so you're from the towers. The rest of you, you're in garrison attire.
Yeah, I'm with the garrison.
Okay.
No, nice to meet you.
No, okay. Name's Ashta Krok.
Nice to meet you. Yes, of course.
Ashta Krok.
Yeah, that's what's it.
Alright. Good to meet you. What do you do? Why are you with the garrison?
I'm a
we
Fletcher.
don't normally...
I'm the garrison Fletcher,
Okay. Okay, Fletcher. It's going to be very useful.
I'm Nibdrum. I was sent by the eldership.
The eldership, oh, two scholars in the same day. Oh, wow. I'm glad to hear it. To be honest, I'm very glad to hear it. We will withdraw into another room. Actually, I don't want... I have some interesting information that we'll be able to discuss in there.
For us too. For us?
Yeah, for you too. Do you have any reason to be in this discussion?
I'm
Need
just
to
trying
get
to
my
figure out what I can do to
best
help.
Well,
These gentlemen had a good idea. All the damage seemed to be up high, so they thought that maybe some people may survive in the catacombs.
Catacombs, okay. Okay.
So I thought maybe we could look into that.
Yeah, we've mostly focused above ground so far, re-establishing clean water and starting to clear out the city, but have not gone below ground other than just like around the castle and around the palace, excuse me. And there's not been much
If they're survivors, they might have first-hand accounts on what happened. More information than we have.
in the lower chambers in the palace. We've not found anyone
Alright?
who's made it through. But there are more distant portions that may be of interest. There's the lower commercial quarter. I haven't been there myself. It's a little far away from the palace. I have to stay here. And then you're a pretty sizable fellow. Are you,
Yes,
not part
sir.
of the garrison though.
My name is Bjolan, and I am son of Tarek, the steward of Ojmat.
Ujmat, okay.
And I am looking for
From the locks,
my
then, okay.
parents.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
both my my Dajo and my
It's fine. I get-
Pajo and Daja.
Ah,
Have you?
Yeah.
Would you know anything about their whereabouts?
stewards. Not all of them were inside the palace quarters for that. Ujmat, probably not. But like I said, we've not found anyone who made it through that night.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your.
My condolences. There's a lot of loss. And I wish I could. I wish I could help you more, but
Really tell.
there's a lot to deal with at the moment.
No.
And
Thank you.
you're one of many, so there's a lot of people to mourn with if that is what you need.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sorry, what was that?
It's been like a month, right, since this happened?
It's been a few weeks. It's about 20-ish days.
So the odds of so some people could have survived on the ground. I'm thinking like would they have starved by now? But
Yeah, you can.
there's just some chance.
As far as like time-wise, we haven't seen anybody arrive in the city like who we didn't let through the front gate. So I don't know that there would be a lot of hope for those underneath. But the blast itself was loud enough that you may just not want to come up. I don't know. I personally, I would be shocked if it occurred at all. If we found someone down in there, but we'll go ahead and step into the room now because to have our further discussion. Yeah.
On our way in, did I find any bullying accusations?
I'm detecting it.
Roll investigation or perception. I think investigation is still
That
better
is
for
a
you.
16.
The 16. Okay, you would have seen the armature of one of the tents that you're familiar with. Not. There's no cloth on it, but the armature is still there, and you do see some boxes.
Well, they go in. Once they go in. Okay.
I'm assuming I wasn't included.
Huh?
I'm
You may see
assuming I
him. You may have seen
invited
his.
with them.
Oh yes, no, you weren't invited.
Right.
Well, hold on a second. Let me think about that because this is what would happen. He says,
Alright, if you would step over here and
"Actually, what was your name again?"
It was a Biolan,
Biolan.
sir.
Technically, you're now steward, so
I suppose.
by all
that's true.
likelihood, you are a steward at this point. So I guess you can come along if you would like. I don't.
Okay. I'll see if I can be of help.
You can head back to the garrison and help there.
All right.
Mischief.
Yeah. So we'll do yours because it'll be quick. You go over to the crates.
Do I have to stealth or anything?
Go ahead and roll it just
Your
to see if
boss
you
is still there,
just to see
right?
if you're be like obviously conspicuous, which is a bit redundant, but what I'm looking for.
We're in the other room. We just hear banging.
It was back out. It was back out in
Boxes
the.
breaking.
It was back out in the actual courtyard. So
That is that 9 or 6. That's a 6. 9.
9. I mean, you're not very quiet with. You don't make a scene getting over there, but like, you're very obviously rummaging through these boxes. Very obviously going through whatever is over here. Now, everyone else has their duty. They're all soldiers, so they're not really looking to.
For all they know, I'm just sorting through the
For all
rubble.
you're sorting through the rubble. You're already part of like the provisioning unit. So they know that you deal with boxes and stuff in boxes. So nothing really looks out of sorts to them with you messing around with boxes. So yeah, you look through there. You get your what did I call it? Zero. Oh, it's Zerut Rhekolb. That's it. Zerut Rhekolb. Yeah, that's it. You get your Zerut. That's fireworks, by the way. Zerut Rhekolb are Nabolian fireworks. But I had to make up a name.
Guys, boom.
Oh, you're trying to make your gun. I mean, I don't know.
No, guns don't exist.
Guns
in
don't
this world.
exist.
Guns don't exist in this world. Alright, so you guys go over into the side room. It's an antechamber to the throne room itself, so you're actually in the throne room, but it's sort of like off to the side. And they brings in.
So, let me run this past you one time because we were actually crossing the strait when this all happened. And we made it through. I guess we were outside of the range of whatever happened. But so it was night. The party was going. We could see the Zero Rhekolb exploding sign. Very nice display. Must have a lot of money, but that's beside the point. I can appreciate the good Zero Rhekolb because they're from his people.
I don't think I've ever seen one. Because I would have spent most of my time in the forest, and that doesn't seem like a good place to set one off.
I mean, you're also in like the Towers of Rudale, which is like a really fancy place. So this is a primo item. So you would have had you would have seen them. There's just been some sort of celebration at some point where your tower's right on the water.
Oh, it's on
so
the
they
water.
would have probably would have
yeah.
had boat out on the bay at some point, firing them off for some sort of reason. I don't have a lore reason for the moment, but there are plenty of things to celebrate over the course of
Someone's
history.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say it's the main keeper of the tower. Same reason. He had a birthday too, and he wanted to have some Zerut Rhekolb.
And it was unexpected.
Yeah. I bet it was a big dragon that swooped down.
Yeah, it was a big, yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to get that in there. You beat me too.
No, these aren't magical. They're purely just like mechanical, not non-magical fireworks. They're just really nice. They look really nice. Anyways, back to the matter at hand.
We are crossing the strait. Sorry, let me get a little deeper. There we go. We are crossing the strait, and what it looked like was that there was a star that just started coming down above the city, and it stopped above. I don't know. It's hard to judge distance, hard to judge height when you're looking up at something that's above something. You know, it's very difficult. But it expanded out from the star. The star sort of expanded out into what looked like a crackling halo of electricity, of lightning. Just that's what all the destruction is on the top of these buildings. Is that it got wild. It started off like a very confined, sort of organized ring, and then it started spiking quietly, and it was destroying the top of these buildings. And we stopped rowing at this point. We're just out in the middle of the strait, and we never seen anything like it at all. Never seen anything like it. It's like you took just a normal spell, you know. People use lightning, and you just exploded it by a magnitude that is almost incomprehensible, encompassing the entire city, this halo. And then it just snapped. One end of it snapped, and you saw it stretching like this, like you'd released the band, and it came back around, and it hit itself. And that's when it happened. There's just an explosion. It wasn't fire. It was just force. Just force. And in a moment there, when it was big, you looked into it and it was just black. It's like you're looking up into
nothing. It's like you're looking into a cave where there's no light. And there's just little glints. Just little. There's little bits in there. Like you could almost figure out what was going on. But right when you started to understand what was happening, that's when it snapped. That's when it snapped. And the blackness was gone. And the explosion happened. We could see, we're far enough away that we could see it coming, and we jumped in the water because that's like all I could think to do. As I didn't even think of it. One of our compatriots, one of our travel companions did it, and we flipped the boat over. We hid like under the boat in the water, and we could hear just pieces of city splashing around us, just massive chunks. If we had been a little less lucky, we wouldn't even have a king in these lands.
So the prince was traveling with you then?
Yes, it must be strange. It's not for me maybe, but like it's for me unable to be here in charge of a garrison of Fahnril. But yes, the Croc, as I said to him before, I'm the prince's tutor.
Oh,
He's been with us in Utrecht for a few rerun now. Just kind of, learning the ways of the world a little bit, getting an exposure outside of the city. Yes, Prince. As a king, I have to get used to that. But I'm now, main advisor to King of Fahnril, King of the Foothills. Rejlaz is the king now.
Would I be able to know enough about the history of the breach to know if any of that would be related to legend or, legends passed down kind of thing?
I'll have you all roll either history or investigation. It's going to be some sort of intelligence check.
Right.
Not me though, right?
Yeah.
For you, I could maybe grant it as a wisdom 25 check. 25? Would you roll 19 or something?
19.
And it wasn't a saving throw. It was just an investigation check. Wow. Okay, 25.
Easily.
So
just like
14
generic.
on my history.
Wait, you said 25.
he said 25, so don't
Okay.
worry about it. So
Busted, man.
so yeah, you would at this point, you would think it's sort of like the breach in that there seems to have been some sort of massive ovoid shaped. Because that one you would know from description that it was sort of like wreathed in flame.
Mm-hmm.
This one's wreathed in
Darkness.
in lightning.
Okay.
And with the 25, I'll go ahead and grant it to you. So you think that this may have been some sort of portal at this point. That would be your guess.
Yikes. So this is like
So you can pitch that to him now because he's asking you for help.
Do you think that there's a possibility that, like the breach, this might have been a portal opening from your description?
Portal. Breach.
You talked about being able to see inside.
Oh, that, no one was there for the opening of the breach. Really, actually,
Did you see anything come out?
that's actually a very similar point to some of our companions. They thought it was very similar to the breach as well, but it's just wreathed in flames there, wreathed in lightning here. That's very interesting. It's very interesting time. I've been so busy, it must have slipped my mind. But, So what then? We never got past this part. Like, it's like the breach, but the mayhem exuded from the breach. All of the Kistiral coming through. The issue came after the breach. The breach happened and allowed those things to enter this world. This is something different. I don't know what to make of it exactly.
We have the magical ability to open portals, right? Like from one place to another. Those weren't
No, teleportation does not exist in this world.
doesn't exist in this world.
No.
Okay.
That's why you took a boat.
Hard travel.
That's why you took about 21 days from
Is
a very
there-
magical place. Both of you.
That adds up.
Yeah.
Is there like would there have been theories of like
So that's right. The breaches that would be the touch point for some sort of non-linear travel. So making the connection between the two is intriguing, but
what I'm
it's a
wondering-
very different scenario.
So the question is, did something come out or did something go in?
As far as we could tell from our vantage point, is nothing came in or out. I correct myself. There was one Zurdrikalik that was launched into the halo, and it stopped. It didn't explode. It didn't hit. It just kind of, just nothing happened. I don't know where it was. I don't know where it went. It didn't fall back through. There was no explosion above. It hit it and ceased. So, I guess it could have gone through, maybe,
What I was thinking about
but nothing came back.
when we were going to the city, I was wondering. I remembered instances of that I witnessed at the towers of young mages who don't quite know how to control their magic yet, or a spell might go wrong. And you know when that happens, the power that's released it has almost a mind of its own. And I'm wondering if
Some sort of wild magic. Oh.
the amount of power that it would take to create something like the breach, if, as you said, the halo snapped. I'm wondering if whatever was holding that sort of power in place and creating that portal, if maybe the firework or something of that like
You could just say firework.
broke the binds holding the power together.
It wasn't immediate. It wasn't like a cause and effect for the zero to click, but a mishap.
As if something was supposed to come through.
You would know about both of you would know about the runes. There were in this portion of the Underkeep here at the palace. We did find strange runes carved into the ground. But there didn't seem. I don't recognize them. We have not had anybody recognize them yet. And but a mishap of magic. The power behind it, though. In the breach, it was Ozek. A patron of the further. There was no patron here. There was no massive hands ripping the world apart. It's just. This happened. It wasn't. This happened. It didn't seem to be from a patron. It seemed to be outside of that. But a mishap, that's as close as I can figure it now.
Is there a precedent in this world for magic acting of its own accord? Or is it a thing that only does stuff when harnessed?
There are magical mishaps. Like you laying that out, that is true. That there are one of the characters that he would have been working with would have been Bolosh from a campaign that won't be on here at any point.
I would have been working with Bolosh. Who?
Bolosh would have. You don't know this as your character, but he's talking about like he was traveling with you guys.
Bolosh was traveling with us.
No. Ashtakrok and the Prince would have been traveling with your group from the first campaign.
Okay.
But I mean, like, is there a precedent of magical events happening without a caster?
No. No, there are not well springs of like magical force. It's all harnessed through it's harnessed through an individual.
So
There are wild magic sorcerers. What I'm getting at. There are wild magic sorcerers, so they can go crazy. But it's.
Can I do a religion check to see if there's any like religious implications to whatever we're talking about seeing?
Let me ask real quick.
Okay.
What level of
Go ahead,
familiarity do I have with the runes? Like, I'm assuming I'm aware of them, but do I know how to read, write? Do I know?
Well, there's no for the runes that you would be familiar with.
Right.
There would be the technical meaning of the runes would have been lost. So you can't use them to like write a sentence.
So I can't like just look at these runes that were found on
You
the
would be able
ground.
to recognize a rune and the effect that it would have.
Okay.
But you don't, like, the runes don't mean this is the rune for moon, this is the rune for water.
Right. It's not something I could read, but it's something I would know how to.
Yeah, because of the severing, you don't know the initial meaning of these runes. You know their effect.
Right. Okay.
23.
23? Stop it! What are you even
17
doing?
plus 6.
What are you
Got
even
those
doing?
dice. Loaded.
I'm so glad.
These guys are level 1, by the way, so that's why I'm flipping out, because these rolls are sick. Religious implications for this. So him mentioning that, he would have mentioned just now that he didn't see, he kind of answered your question before you asked it. You would have asked the question to prompt him to talk about Ozek, and because Ozek was a patron of the Further, he is the one who actually opened the breach. But he kind of preempted your question by saying that he said that there was a light that descended from the sky, and that then expanded out into it. He said it's almost as if a star had just descended above the city,
And then the star.
and then the star expanded into the halo.
So there wasn't a star with a halo around it. The star
Correct.
Became
The star
Okay.
became the halo.
Okay, that's very different than what I was imagining.
Yeah, the star becomes the halo, and then the blackness, the darkness, the nothingness fills the space between the halo as it expands. But
Yeah, as far as I don't know that the patron would be involved with this. I mean, if Rozek, I mean, he would be fire. But
This was like.
this was lightning, which is different. I don't know.
actually, I have a stat sheet for him, so let me have him roll his own little.
I have it.
One more question. Would the knowledge of the runes be inherent to my race?
No.
Or is it because of my father's role? Okay.
Yeah, it's because you are in line to be one of these.
Right.
Is it in?
No, I know. It's just that I haven't internalized all of it yet.
I gave them all backstories to help with the campaign. Okay, Ashta Croc. Let me get a roll here for Ashta Croc's. Let me use this one here.
It's fine.
Do you want me to spell his name for you guys?
We're gonna record.
Is he going to be an important NPC?
Oh, he is. I already have it here. So let's see.
Yeah.
He's gonna roll actually R. Does he have religion? He's not very good at religion because he's a science bro. Let's see. His R. Where is religion? Show it to me. There it is. +5 still. 16. With a 16.
What?
Ashta Croc would say. Okay.
the only thing that I can think of with lightning would be this is a stretch, but maybe the far shores, maybe Keshik, maybe Shorak, but it wouldn't be Shorak. Keshik, maybe, but they haven't had any sort of effect over here outside of the incursion, so it'd be strange to have that. They seem to be focused over there, and probably need me to fill you in on that a little bit. The far shores are not on this map because they are the far shores. They're very far away. Oh, I forgot. There is another race. I forgot to mention. There is a race of like lizard people, of dragon people. Mm-hmm. So that's where they came from. With the human race and a different type of elf race, the Mopari and the elves, and the several different names. The Kingdom of the Karatanil, right here in the middle. Karatanil, Olsvak, Puprum. It's all the same people, sort of.
I have a question with the breach.
Don't worry about it.
For the patron that was there and caused it, were they witnessed standing there and opening the breach, or is it just known that their power opened?
I don't know how widely that would be reported.
Because I'm wondering,
So Ashta Croc would know. Ashta Croc would say. So you ask him a question about mentioning Ozek and the breach.
I would ask, so if it was a patron that did this, would you have seen them at all doing it?
I mean, one of the traveling companion I mentioned earlier, who brought up the breach, he was there.
he saw it. He actually had a very similar advantage that we had to this. So he was there for both of them. And when it was brought up that he had a story of how it happened, and yes, it's Ozek standing at the breach. He pulled it apart with his forearms. Ozek, he said he stood hundreds of feet tall. And was a sight that he'd rather not remember as well as he does, to be frank.
At the mention of being hundreds of feet tall, and they haven't mentioned seeing anything like that at this event.
Yeah.
I think that Fahnril would almost lose his cool and go like pale in the audience, and he would say something like, "As we understand it, or at least the readings that I did on it of the breach, whatever was done there, and the portal that was created, it's like a doorway between one place and another."
Yes.
And who's the patron that opened the breach?
Ozek.
And Ozek stood and he opened that door. And we saw him do it. And I'm wondering if this is a similar occurrence, if there is somebody on the other side of the door this time that opened it.
That on the other side, well, we have very little precedent to go off of, but I would think that from how it was explained that we would have it opened, right? Like it seemed. It's hard to say because I was not there myself, but from how Jon Nalen described it, he said that the breach started appearing. It started from top to bottom, and then he saw the fingers come through the breach and started pulling it open.
Okay.
So this started opening, just with the star coming down and expanding. So it was not something that was doing it by force, or at least not manual force. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was some sort of, I don't know. I don't know. We're pushing against the extremities of what I know firsthand. So I don't like to speak in theory unless it's mechanical.
Yes. I as mysterious and unknowing the circumstances are, I don't honestly think that we're going to have any answers standing here.
That's fair.
If I may interject, would there be a chance that I could see those runes that are carved in the ground?
Yes. And going out and researching the rest of the city is probably not a bad idea. It just has not been top of mind. It's over now, as far as I can tell, so I always thought we could get fact-finding later. So, yes, we'll head down there and take a look at the runes. I'll take you myself. I was going to pass it off, but there's not much going on right now aside from cleanup, so we can head on down.
One quick question before we go. Real quick. I know in this world messages are sent magically.
Yes.
Is there a chance that part of the group that's here is a person capable of sending a message to the nearest location? I should also preface, I have the spell message, but I don't think...
Well, message is...
That doesn't go far.
Yeah, limited distance.
Yeah.
It's within eyesight. It's not within eyesight, but it is within 60 feet, I believe.
Is there like a name for this? I was going to ask.
We still use sending. Sending exists in this world. So, but does anybody here have sending? Hold on, let me look at his spells. I don't think he has.
I'm just wondering if I can ask him if he has someone
sending
here that has, is there a sender? Sort of like a title for a person with that ability or rank.
Hold on, okay. He does not have sending. I don't know if they can. Anyway.
Is there somebody...
the companions were here. We sent them off on their own fact-finding mission. They had ideas of their own, and they're not bound by our laws. They were able to communicate, but I'll ask around. There may be some. There may be some employed magic users in. We have many units that have reported back to the capital. I don't have a full list of people who are here.
So I only ask because I want to send word back to the towers as quick as possible to see if they can start to unravel this puzzle.
Yeah, I think that's probably how Caporto got to it in the first place. Because if you've made it here from the towers in 2 weeks, I mean, you were right on top of it. We ourselves did send out word to a couple individuals, to one of the members of the Sasha Council for them, and he is very powerful. So I'm sure that he got word out to people he trusted as well, and I assume that's why you are all here now. But at the moment, I don't know of any. Well, I'll put the word out. In fact, he pokes his head out the door and he says, "Here, Boyach, see if there's anybody who's magical has spells. I don't know who's here. I'm new at this. Okay, do it." And you see just a guy run off. It's just a guy run
I
off.
like it.
He's like, "Okay, do we need to get the other guy?" Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
He didn't seem very interested in what was going on there. But that's
Just a
fine.
soldier.
Alright,
I think he'll be a great help to us. He should
Alright.
come along.
Well then let's go get them. We poke our head out the door. You're over there. We walk out onto the balcony.
Am I still actively sifting through
I don't know.
boxes?
Are you? Let's
long
see.
did it take you
What
to
should
sit?
you roll? What should you roll? It's probably not. Maybe, all these are like investigation checks, but that's like what you guys are doing right now.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, we'll go with sleight of
Determine how
hand. Just
quickly you did it.
yeah, just to see how quickly you did it.
None of your characters would know this, but I want you to know the reason I said I think we'll need him is I'm thinking I don't want to carry my stuff.
You're gonna make him the bag.
Yeah,
the
I'm a-
smallest one here is the bag.
I found out he was carrying like stuff for the group, for the garrison. So I
The
was like,
wagon was carrying
Yeah,
stuff.
he was in the wagon train.
look, Bisveneer and Wyatt misheard.
Okay.
You're used to having people do stuff.
22.
For you. 22.
background,
Okay, yeah,
guys.
you found some primo examples of Zirut Rhekolb. Is that right? Hold on.
Currently,
Zirut Rhekolb. There we go.
my bag.
Gotta
is
make sure I
carried
use the
by
same
me,
word
Jay,
every time.
currently.
And I don't know. You have a bag or something, so you put them away. Put them down in there.
Get out those later.
Yeah. You'll yes, I'll put them in there into your inventory. I'm going to do a manual update of their inventory. All right, yeah. So they collect you. You finished. So we'll say that they come out of the room and you're actually already coming back in as they're coming out, having accomplished your task. And he says, "Oh, perfect timing.
Tell me for what?
We're going to go down to the underkeep and take a look at some rooms."
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
They wanted you to come, so.
Cool.
All right, you guys head on back. You're going deeper into the palace now. There's no destruction in here necessarily. Like you can still see, but it's the paintings themselves. Like the paint, it's dried and chipped, so it's like it looks antique now. It looks old. The sculptures look fine that are in here, but you make your way further and further down. And he brings you to just kind of a nondescript room. It actually has a couple beds in it, so someone sleeps down here. Someone slept, because they are dead. Yeah.
So, with like the paint looking aged now
Yeah.
and everything, would it be safe to say that all organic material seems to have been aged?
That's what I was just thinking.
Roll just intelligence. You can all...
Can I roll Arcana? It has the same buff.
Yeah, intelligence is the generic. If you have a skill you want to use, you just shout it out
10.
to 10. You don't. You say, that's weird looking.
20.
20? Stop it.
It's the smart one.
18 plus 2.
Dirty 20
You're all...
or nat 20?
He's intelligent. He's not intelligence. He's a cleric. That's wisdom that's a wisdom buff. But apparently you like to investigate. You are a history buff. So, yeah, that's... Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you think that it's... The theory now is that... that everything got aged real quick, or something like that.
I did roll 10, but I was already thinking that.
Yeah.
Ooh. Trying to get that accent. I can't do it.
There
There
you go.
From the bodies and
From the
More
buddies.
from the bodies
There you go.
and the paint on the walls, I think that things are aging rapidly in the explosion.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
It does seem... I don't know how, but
I have another.
that and the trees, Bodies.
Lifespans?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is time magic a thing?
Time magic?
Is
No.
chronomancy a thing?
No. Chronomancy is not a thing.
Okay, so this is an unprecedented.
Yeah, well, it's a very rare thing because time stop still exists.
You can stop, but you can't rewind or accelerate.
You need to roll religion for that question.
Whoa. If it's religion, I kind of don't want to know. Because I would just think, like, in my knowledge of the schools of magic, if it was a thing.
Yeah, none of
Do you want me
you...
to roll religion?
You can't. What? Oh, it's up to Sandra, not me.
23.
What? The dice is rigged.
So, the only experience, the only sort of time... What was it? Time is a weird soup. Is that what the silly phrase is? It's wibbly wobbly. Is that something else from Doctor Who? Yeah. You know that Phos is the patron of time.
Oh, yeah.
Of the passage of time.
Yeah.
And that's the only sort of origin of any sort of time manipulation you would know of. But also with the 23, you would know that Phos is not an aggressive patron. He's lackadaisical, spins
Silly.
it. Yeah, he's a goof. He's a goof. So it does appear to have been some sort of strange, I'll use the very scientific term of time dilation that occurred. But pinning that on any sort of interaction with Phos would be, to say out of character would be putting it lightly for that patron in particular.
It didn't age time. Like, time didn't move, but it just rapidly aged the cells of things.
Do you tell
It's
us
just,
about Phos?
it's just a science bot. Do I need to tell them about Phos?
Did you tell them? Like,
No,
are you
you
keeping
don't have
this
to
to you didn't tell them?
Keep it in my
Oh, okay, he's keeping it to himself.
Okay. Scribble out of my notes. Why?
He may tell you at some point. Maybe you'll like it.
We wouldn't just know that as citizens. Of this world, or-
You didn't want to roll religion.
The only thing I can think of is that the Phos is the god of time.
Okay, he says that. He makes that connection for you.
I don't make comment. I'm just scared.
Just trying to avoid having to do my
Scared.
Until you get it locked down.
I
Fear.
have theories, but they're not really helpful, so I'm
Yeah.
keeping them to myself.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys make it down to the room. Like I said, it's just like a pretty plain bedroom down where there's no sunlight. You feel right at home, actually.
I love it.
You're
This
really
is so
into it.
great. It
Yeah.
feels like my bed.
I feel at home as well.
Well, a little bit less. He literally
Yeah.
lives in a mountain. So,
Oh, yeah,
like,
you-
so it's like he's literally feels very much
I
at
was
home.
thinking like you don't want like sunlight for books because your book go bad.
No, in that instance, yes, it's it's dusty and musty and kind of like
I feel cozy, but not
Yeah.
at home.
he's truly just like in his element at the moment. And on the ground, you do see
Against the rocks on the wall.
no,
Not this again.
you're not Bolos in this campaign. You're a different character.
I'm trying to be
You're
serious.
civilized.
You actually are very civilized, very antithetical to Bolos as far as upbringing is
Really
concerned.
gotta nail that down.
Yeah, very different than Bolos. You can have sort of the same vibe, but definitely not the same background. And there's it's sort of scratched very precisely into the ground is this very strange looking rune, and
Singular. Why?
there's a rune listed here.
Okay.
There is a large rune. It's probably about, I'll use this table like yay big. It's pretty. It's big. It's detailed. There's lots of little marks. It's inside of its own like bordered circle that has its own set of runes, and it's very complicated what you're looking at.
Can
Okay.
you draw us
Talking
the
like-
rune?
No, I
size of
cannot.
like-
No, I cannot draw you the rune, but since you requested it, I'll have it prepared for the next session. I'll figure out what that even looks like.
It's just a
I only have to create another alphabet. I only have 3 of them so far.
Yeah.
And quite a few different symbols for words in your language. Yeah, so there's that on the ground, and I'll have you all roll. You can roll. Just roll. It's like, do we have to investigate? It's investigation again, or
Can
maybe
I do-
history,
can I
or
do
maybe
insight?
Arcana. Insight is for people.
No.
Insight's for people.
But wisdom's my good stat.
We're gonna do Arcana.
Do you have nature good at all?
I do have
Yeah,
good
sometimes
nature.
We
I
could
realize
say-
Makes that a 7.
That seems like a stretch.
I can give you a die.
Yeah, I got plenty of dice right here, Will.
Wait,
13. Oh, you just wanted to get the 13. What'd you roll?
do you need dice?
No, he just needs the modifier.
Yeah, just wanted to modify.
10,
Yeah.
9.
9. I can pull up your character sheet. Just
It's
answer
fine.
this. I don't need it.
That's fine.
9, 14.
Am I doing nature?
I'll
It
give
makes a
you.
difference.
I'll give you nature because of your
Okay,
particular
16.
16. Okay.
At least it makes sense.
Can I read the room?
Can I read the rune?
You can. So
That'd be
you
great.
all look at the room.
That ain't natural.
9, a 14, and a 16.
With my
forget his
steward
I had a 7.
stuff.
Don't forget my 7.
I got
Let me know.
steward bonus.
Here it is. I don't know what you all make of it. I can recognize pieces of it, but it's sort of
Is the rune just
mixed
etched?
up. Yeah.
Or
it's-
is it like
carved
glowing?
glowing?
No, it's
Oh.
not. It's not. It's not glowing. It's etched into the ground.
Okay.
So
Like burned? Does it look burned in the ground?
It looked
it
carved.
doesn't look that it's
Lightning shock?
carved into the ground.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that
Somebody did this.
Hold on. Hold on. I think.
Somebody
I
did a
think he could
weird
do-
spell
I-
thing.
Yeah, he. All right, this is what I'll do. As he walks in, as you guys walk in, he picks up like just a cup that's sitting there, and he messes with it, and it starts glowing. And it's like, and as you can see, here's the rune. I can sort of understand part of it, but it's too many things altogether to be a thing. It's from all different places, and I don't have, to be honest, I don't have the most deep knowledge of ancient scripts. Or it just wasn't interesting for me, to be honest. So, but I don't know. Do you guys make anything out of it?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to use Mage Hand to sketch this while I go about other doing other things?
Sure. I mean, you've got the cantrip for it, right?
I want
Mage
to. Well,
hand?
I can just sketch it normally, actually, because I was thinking I
Yeah,
want to be able to
got, like,
sketch
the
and
magic.
talk, but I can do that with
Yeah.
my hand.
Yeah, but I can also like.
I forgot I can talk while using my hand.
History
I want-
check.
To just like right now, because we're in a dark space, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to pull out one of my little vials
Uh-huh.
and like mix some together and shake it. It
Oh,
starts to glow.
oh, you're gonna do something for it too? Yeah, he did something similar
Yeah.
with his. He actually the little armatures on his hand popped out, and he started manipulating it. Like he's got big old beefy fingers, but
He's
he's
got,
like
like, little-
secondary little fingers, tips that come off, and he manipulates this little cup, and it starts glowing.
I love this because I don't know if orcs have it, but I know pretty sure the three of us have dark vision. So do orc?
He doesn't have dark
Yeah,
vision.
so
I know.
we're all doing this just for his benefit.
Dark vision's only in black and white, so you know you could read the colors, the contours, the textures.
I didn't know there's colors in the room.
Yeah.
There's not colors in
I
the
just love
room.
they just made it
History
like,
check?
Yeah.
Huh?
History check?
I need to use
For
ones.
what?
The room.
You already
So
did
I
it. It's a
can-
14. There's a 14, a
Is that
9, and a
history? I thought
16.
that was a
So I can't read it, but do I know what some of the symbols
It's like
individually
you
would
point,
do?
you can point at some of them and say like, oh yeah, this is kind of like the rune that I know from, what is it called? What do I call it? It's on the next page.
This one?
Yeah, no, on the
no.
next page. What is it called? Where is it? It's the K. What is it? Cage, Corge Bush. Yes, Kjorbaj. That's it. Kjorbaj. Is that right? Hold on, let me take a look at it right in front of my face.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Kjorbaj. Yeah. Kjorbaj.
Knowing
From your
literally
Kjorbaj training.
nothing but runes or how they work, I would like to cast Prestidigitation to kind of clean away any clutter that might be.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just giving the people who do know what they're doing a better view.
Well, with a 9, you do recognize as some very ancient script is included in the border, but it doesn't.
Ooh, writing like not runes. Or...
Yeah. It's an amalgamation of several different things. So there's like a big rune in the middle, and you sort of recognize it from your Kjorbaj training.
Right.
Kjorbaj. I should probably make things easier to say.
Uh-huh.
Kjorhbaj. Kjorbaj. Kjorbaj. Barge. There's no second R. Don't need to worry about it that much. You can recognize the main rune as being from that.
Mm-hmm.
You can recognize some of the letters on the outside as being a very old script of Sharon text. But it's not linked together, and it doesn't form any words.
Is it predating the? Is it from the original script, or is it one of the houses?
There are some that look very similar to modern. A lot of the vowels in your language have maintained the same sort of vibe the whole time. Mm-hmm. There are a couple in there that would be defunct vowel sounds that are not being included in that. So there are fewer letters now in your language than there were initially. As they refine the language to make it more easily communicated.
But because they don't really say anything, I probably can't decipher if it's from the original language or when the houses started splitting it up.
Correct. Yeah. Since with the vowels being the same, you don't know you don't know what house it would be in reference to, so you can't say that it was specific to a particular house. Sorry, this is some deep lore stuff that is related to his character specifically. Check out our character introduction videos for more information. I've now committed us to doing that. All right.
I was just trying to think of if I could pinpoint exactly roughly the era, but ancient.
You would say it is prior to the homogenization of language, post schism. You would know that. So we're talking a very old script style.
Yeah.
And then you would recognize some of the characters in there as being from Yungol. And yours is a pictographic language, so they are in there. Yes, yeah, like that. That's how he spells his name, guys. That's how he spells his name.
So it's like hieroglyph.
Mine's in cursive.
Yeah, pictographic. It's like Chinese. It's hieroglyphs. It's not quite hieroglyphs, but more akin to Chinese. Okay. But they're all interspersed, and you can't make any heads or tails of any meaning within the rune itself as a whole. It's bits and pieces. It's like it's a puzzle that you are missing information on. It's like you're looking at the back of a puzzle. Mm-hmm. So it's like just pieces that are fading together, but you have no idea what they're supposed to look like.
Right. It's interesting.
Or maybe it's like a puzzle, but only some of the pieces are facing the right way. Maybe that's a better analogy. Probably not, because that doesn't work for puzzles. Oh, the little piece over it's a different shape.
Almost.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting.
Can you guys make heads or tails of this thing?
As I'm sketching, I'm not an artist, so it's not an incredible sketch. Can I then start making a list of all the individual symbols that I can make out?
Yeah. You can make your list. You'll make your list.
I don't know what the rune itself, is for. Beyond meaning, but just like the.
It is not a beginner rune, so you had not gotten that far. It'd be like you had been flipping through a book of the runes.
But I don't know what it is.
Something that looks like that, but you can't really. You don't know what that does.
Right?
Yes,
he made a sketch.
I just made a sketch so I can send it back to the. My idea with having each.
Can I also make a sketch? Can I do a rubbing? I'm gonna do a rubbing.
Do you have a piece of paper that big?
Let's get multiple. Can I prestidigitation them together?
Well, we don't. This is a medieval setting, so there's not
stuff back to
there's not 9x12. So like you would probably.
Can you mending pieces
what's in your equipment? Oh, I'm not. No, don't go over there. I'll pull this up here.
Not a large piece of paper.
Well, it would be like parchment. Do you have?
Can I take a photo?
Can you take a photo? Can I take a photo?
Let me see what I have.
Can't wait to meet that guy. All right, let me take a look at your equipment.
Or I cover it in paint and I roll my body across.
No, you're not Bolos. Oh, you didn't put your equipment in there. Okay, we'll say that you're a scroll guy. You've got some parchment. You've got some parchment. You lay it down. You make her. Okay, that works. It's not going anywhere, but I guess you guys will probably be out on the boat.
I'm incredibly out of my depth, so I'm just going to look at the room around the room. So I want to look at the environment to see how it's different than presumably what it was before, and how it's different from the chaos outside.
Yeah, as far as the room itself, it looks like the only thing that would have changed from it being just a normal room is that there's the scratchings in the floor.
Is there what's in this room? It was a bedroom, right?
It's just a bedroom. So there's like
How did-
on the
Whose
wall.
bedroom?
How do the sheets look?
Huh?
How do the sheets look on the bed?
It's not. It's skins. We'll say.
We're in the lower.
I'm trying to figure out if this has been affected by the same time thing.
We're in the lower parts of the palace. Right?
Yes. Yeah. It looks the same as everywhere else. There's no distinction between.
There wasn't
the
like a
skins.
safety bubble around the room.
But we're in the lower parts of the palace, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Lower parts of the palace.
How did it? Sorry.
Are there any other rooms about the castle?
There are a few
Palace?
others. This is the main one here that we found so far. I found two others in a little more distant, out on the wings.
Where, in relation to, would you say the anomaly? All these rooms, like, are they around it?
No, it was the entire city.
So far, like
Okay,
I said,
epicenter.
we've not investigated significantly the subterranean portions of the city.
Right.
This one here, by definition of being here, is on the edge of the city, but I couldn't say that there are not some in the middle of the city. I just haven't been down there.
I just mean it may be part of like a larger room
being
circle.
in sewers, so they're usually small, and I am not, so they don't work
Makes sense.
for me very
It's
well.
more for me.
Yeah, no,
than for
like,
you.
I would
Yeah.
definitely send you. There was a guy who was with us. He would love the sewers so much. Oh my goodness. The
I'm trying to
guy.
decide if I actually want to meet this
I
man.
wanna meet that guy.
He's an acquired taste, I'll tell you that much.
He sounds like it.
Can you give us the name of this guy?
It's Bolosh.
Oh.
He's kind of like you. He's
Not
a,
where I
he's
thought
a
you were
federal
going with
student.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he's Bolosh.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Bolosh.
What
Yeah,
is
listen.
what's
You
his-
wouldn't know the other guy. He would not like the sewers. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that in character. It's confusing. Yalnek or Veneer would not like the sewers. No. Well, there would be portions of the sewers he would like. I'm going to try not to mention characters that you probably won't meet in this campaign any further. But I probably will anyways. It's too much fun.
You need a little cameo or something.
Yeah. But they're gone. They're not here anymore.
Right.
Okay. Huh?
What was the orc's name?
My
yeah.
name was Ashtakrak. ASHTAKR.
I'm spelling everything phonetically because I'm not gonna be able to know.
Yeah.
Um,
Ashtakrak.
um,
It's a
I
Ashtakrak.
had a question and I forgot.
Alright, well, it is. How much longer do we want to go?
It is.
It's already like almost 11.
We'll stop now, record an episode of Up and Out, and then go home.
No, I think we probably should be wrapping it up because you guys will. I'm assuming. What were you guys planning to do at this point?
I feel like this
I
room's a
agree.
good. This room's a good stopping place
Yeah.
and a good point for us to like branch out and do something again.
That's what I'm feeling as well. That's why I'm bringing up the idea of possibly stopping here because it's a nice.
To be continued.
It's a nice lead into the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, I have
There are
a-
several other ones that you can go check out around the palace. I will have somebody walk you there because I have other things that I do need to do. I showed you this one because I'm being nice, but I do have responsibilities elsewhere.
Real quick before you go, Ashton.
Yeah.
Do you know where they would have kept any ledgers for the palace grounds, sort of documents, maintaining it, just keeping track of the goings on around here?
The court library is off of the palace, of the throne room. I've been in there and things are not holding up as well.
I see.
You know, old parchment gets very brittle. Doesn't hold up well. So I don't know how many usable records there would be at this point in that room. I now have something else on my list because I will have to look into that.
Sorry.
No problem. I would have come to it eventually. But regardless, I appreciate any help that you can help assist us with. And if you come back up to me to the main hall, I will set you up with one of my associates. And you guys exit, going up to the main hall, and are introduced to an NPC I'll give you the name of in the next episode because I don't know who it's going to be.
With a drawing of a room.
Yeah, with a drawing of a room.
We're gonna see some other rooms. We might look at some falling apart parchment.
More people. More people. All right. Well, before we all try to just leave immediately, we do have to wrap up this recording. Thanks. If you're still here, wow, that's incredible. I have no idea why, but thank you for being a paid sub if you're watching.
Yep.
Because that's the only place you can get the video. If you're just listening to an audio version, that means I decided to release it as an audio podcast, and that's interesting for me to have decided. But if you want to watch us do this for realsies, then go on head over to our Substack, upandoutshow.substack.com, I believe is the URL. It would be in the description of the podcast if it's not that. I'm pretty sure it's upandoutshow.substack.com though. And if you're become a paid sub, then you can watch us do it all live to tape, because it is not live. No, Go Read Your Bibles is for Up and Out only. But until we're back with the next episode, whenever that may be, I have decided that we're releasing these monthly, right? Yeah, releasing these monthly at the time being. We may increase the cadence, but for now, we're going to stick with monthly. And I don't have an outro, I just realized. But thanks for watching, and see you again next time. Bye.
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 Swag.